So, Scream 5 has most of us speculating and theorizing, especially who could be Ghostface in the upcoming film. And so, I wanted to make a video sort of discussing two characters that I think make extremely likely candidates for Ghostface in Scream 5, primarily based on the previous films. And we'll get into all that and discuss and break down why these two characters could most likely be Ghostface both separately and possibly even together. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button, helps me out a lot, lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. And if you're not, subscribe to the channel, follow by the bell notifications so you never miss an upload, and let's get into potential Ghostface. So, the first character I wanted to discuss is the most widely believed to be Ghostface. So, I just kind of want to get that one out of the way. And that character is obviously Judy Hicks. Now, many people think she is undoubtedly Ghostface, and even a supposed insider claimed she is Ghostface and will be revealed in sort of the beginning of the film. But take that with a grain of salt, not because it can't be true, but because you know how the supposed insiders are. That being said, I won't dive into too many story plots specifically with Judy because I already have several videos already broken down. So if you want like specific breakdowns or story plots, go check those videos out after this one, and I'll even link like a playlist down in the description below. I do though want to talk about specific reasonings as to why it is extremely likely she will be Ghostface. So, obviously, she was very awkward to say the least in Scream 4, and extremely sus the entire time. Though, it could have very well just have been a red herring. And that being said, though, there is some sort of evidence, potential evidence, to look at. She obviously had direct ties to the OG3. She seemed to always be around shortly after the killings. She seemed very off-putting and excessive, especially towards Dewey and Sidney. She had ties directly to Sidney, as she stated herself. You know, they went to school together and stuff. And yes, people say she was shot, but with the bulletproof vest on. And I get it, she's a cop, but it was in the right area. And then she proceeded just to lay down till it was all over instead of getting up and helping or doing something. She just laid there until all was done and then popped up. Also, her son will be introduced in the upcoming film. Now, whether she is Ghostface or not, I would assume she will have some significant role in Scream 5. And the reason, though, she seems extremely likely outside of what I just mentioned is because of trends that usually are in Scream. I think she will be a sort of Roman type character. And what I mean by that is who is revealed to be sort of behind the scenes most of the time, if not the entire time. A character from Sidney's past that also has ties to maybe Billy and Stu, you know, hint, hint, her kid maybe one of theirs. Judy would also benefit a lot from Dewey's death, assuming she is a sort of mastermind. She becomes the sheriff and then can pretty much manipulate everything from behind the scenes. And just having a big reveal similar to Scream 3 with Roman, I feel just makes a ton of sense. But this also transitions to my next character, and that is Martha Meeks. So her and her child will be involved in Scream 5. She would be, in this case, sort of the Mrs. Loomis out for revenge type character. She lost her brother due to his obsession with Sidney, and much like Mrs. Loomis, would blame Sid and want her dead. It's also entirely possible that her children would be involved as well. Plus, Martha explains the connection to the OG3, which they need to have in Scream 5, because why else outside of Dewey, just because he's the sheriff, do you even want to target and kill them? Like, why would some random teenagers just want to take out the OG3 for whatever reason? Outside of, like, I guess you could say to be the one to actually take out Sidney or Gail, but other than bragging rights, there's not really a definitive reason for that. But now you may be asking, why would she wait so long? because I've sort of mentioned similar things like this, and people have commented that, like, why would she wait till now? Well, if you remember in Scream 3, she was only a teenager. She was like 16 at the time. You know, when the security came running up, she was like, you know, I'm only 16 or only 17, something like that. So she even mentioned that her age. She mentioned that she wanted, I guess you could say it was sort of creepily. Some people argue that, I don't know, it could have just been, you know, a 16-year-old saying, but she said that they missed them in Woodsboro, and she'd love for them to return to Woodsboro. And it's very likely that she's just been kind of waiting for an opportunity to revenge Randy's death. It's also entirely possible that both Judy and Martha are connected. And what if they're working together? If Judy has been the mastermind for some time, she could have came up with the plan and convinced Martha to seek revenge and take down Sydney once and for all. You know, let's team up, and she'll never see it coming in a lot of ways. And going off the assumption, you know, if Sydney was to die in this film, it would have to be someone significant doing the killing. Like, some random teen murdering Sydney just doesn't do her justice as the final girl of Scream, as the sort of Scream standard, as just, you know, her being Sydney. Like, you have to have someone significant. You have to have something impactful happen. And this reveal would really bring everything full circle. With Judy and Martha, or both, like I said, it's sort of a perfect ending to Sydney's arc. And perhaps she finally realizes that this will never stop, because someone will always blame her for these killings, for these events. And it's just sort of a vicious, never-ending cycle, if you get what I'm saying. But Scream just has a trend and pattern. I mean, Scream 1 was the Billy and Stu, which I think they'll have a sort of modern-day version with the newer cast that's involved in this film. Scream 2 was all about the revenge and having sort of a mastermind convince someone else to kill with them. You know, Billy's mother and Mickey. Scream 3 was sort of the ultimate reveal that tied it all together and blamed Sydney for everything. So this theory would sort of cover all three, and would be all three sort of films rolled into one, which has some credibility. Given recent interviews with Nev and Gail, they said that this film is Scream. Like, the reason it's titled Scream is because it's Scream. So if it's more of a reimagining of the original as stated, then this is a real way to do so. You know, you sort of tie all three films together to kind of bring everything full circle for Sydney. I mean, you have motive with the characters, you have explanation and tie-ins, and you have an epic reveal and story. But as always, this is a discussion, and I want to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What's your overall opinion of this theory? I mean, would you want Judy or Martha or both to be Ghostface? Or neither? Do you want somebody else? So join the discussion down in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that like button, because it helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel, followed by the bell notification, so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you all in the next one.